Identity theft has been the top consumer complaint filed with the FTC for over 15 years straight. Victims are spending an exorbitant amount of time and money dealing with it. Introducing Cover Your Assets with Nancy O and Harvey Katz. They will bring the latest news on how criminals are getting smarter, and they have the solution to keep them at bay. Nancy and Harvey are informative and will get you motivated to cover your assets. If you want to ask them a question, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and let them get you on the right track in protection. Now, here's Nancy O and Harvey Katz.
Hi there, it's Harvey and Betsy here. Filling in for Nancy O. So I hope you're all having a great day today, and I hope you all voted. Today is the Ides of March, remember, so make sure you vote because things can happen. So anyway, Betsy, I want to let you start off with a news story that I heard today, that 2.2 million people, it was a report on ABC, Channel 7 or 12, that 2.2 people had their medical identities stolen in the last week or so, just at one location.
Wow, it's a big problem that people really are not aware of. I understand that it's the largest growing aspect of identity theft, even more than any like credit or any of the other kinds of driver's license theft, credit card theft, any of that. That medical is the number one problem with identity theft now.
Today it is, Betsy, and I want to let the folks know we're with Harvard Risk Management Corporation, and we're independent associates, and we have exclusive Harvard Risk with the best in the business, which is Legal Shield. Legal Shield has two separate products. One is identity theft, and this is why we call it Covered Your Assets, and the other thing is called Legal Shield, that has prepaid legal services for the consumer as well.
Yeah, I was surprised when I found out that Legal Shield has been around for over 40 years, and Lady Justice is their symbol, which I really thought was amazing, because basically it's just to try to get equal justice for the law for every person.
And actually, that's true, because justice is supposed to be blind. That's why you have the blindfold.
Correct.
But is justice really blind? Or
not in this country.
Or is it depending upon your pocketbook? That's why Legal Shield was formed, to make sure that everybody was able to afford legal services when they needed it.
Yeah, it's a basic idea of access to the legal system.
Legal Shield started, like you said, over 42 years ago, and was founded on the premise that it was like an insurance company where a lot of people were able to throw in a little bit of money, pay the largest and best law firms in their area. Now, Legal Shield is available in 49 states.
I heard Alaska wasn't one of them, so you won't see Russia from the Alaskan law firm.
No, they didn't have a law firm that met the qualifications, believe it or not. All of the law firms have to be AV rated, which is the highest rating a law firm can have.
Well, one other thing that's really important is that you actually have a firm at your disposal, not a lawyer, who specializes in all kinds of different areas of law. Because if you have to have somebody go to court for you for a speeding ticket, that same person doesn't, necessarily know anything about IRS audits or criminal law. So it's an amazing thing that they have a bevy of lawyers with specialties. So you get someone for your particular problem, which I think is wonderful.
Exactly. That's what also happens. To give you an idea, if you have a problem, let's say with the warranty, as simple as that, a consumer protection attorney is there to help you. When you call in, and you can call in as many times as you want, one of the things that I'm going to go over in a little bit is the benefits about Legal Shield, because we've been concentrating on Identity Shield, which covers you on all 5 major types of identity theft.
Right.
Well, those identity thefts can lead to major legal problems, such as like we discussed in the past about the lady with her driver's license being arrested. Well, the identity with Legal Shield.
Explain what you mean, because some people might not have heard that show.
Well, this poor girl in Compton, California, got pulled over for speeding, and she was a nurse. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and she said she was getting a ticket. They said, "Let me check your license." They came back and they said, "Please step out of the car," and they placed her under arrest for not showing. And she said, "What for?" They said, "Well, you did not show up for court because for your drug trafficking charge for cocaine." She said, "What do you mean? I never had cocaine." They said, "Well, in essence, tell it to the judge." They took her to the police station. 3 days later, they found out that her fingerprints did not match, and they were letting her go. She asked the police sergeant to try to clean up her record, and he said they would do that at the police station. Well, he did that for that precinct, but not throughout the entire jurisdiction. Betsy, in the next 2 years, she was arrested 7 times in 2 years. One of the times she was arrested had her children in the back seat. They took the kids out of the back seat, placed them in foster care, and said that she was an unfit mother because she didn't show up to court. She got her kids back afterwards, but you can imagine how traumatic that is.
To the mom and the kids. Oh, my God, plus the whole extended family. Well, I have to say that over 4 million people are covered under Legal Shield. It's 4 million families, but it effectively is 4 million people. And they have employees all over to give you the best possible service. You ought to talk to maybe a little bit about how Legal Shield gets paid in terms of their retainer.
Yes, unlike a lot of other legal plans, Legal Shield, what's called a closed panel.
What's a closed panel?
A closed panel versus an open panel. An open panel, you might see with other plans that they have a list of attorneys that you can call who are not on a retainer, but they work under contract and with the agency. Our firms are a closed panel. Is actually we pay them a retainer, and it's a large retainer because we only have 1 or 2 law firms in each state, and they're large law firms. So let's say, to give you an example, in the state of Florida, our fee is only $17 for a single person or entire family.
You're kidding me.
No, that includes you, your spouse, any unmarried children, living at home, and if they're going to college up to age 26. This covers for all of the benefits we'll get into. But what they do for that $17, about 30% of that from each person is put into a fund, and they pay these law firms that money as a retainer. So that makes us the largest we are the largest client of that law firm in the whole state for that whole firm. So if you call in, you're going to get the response as that law firm's biggest client. That means they're going to treat you with dignity, answer the phone quickly and properly. When you call in, Betsy, you don't just speak to a secretary or call back from our paralegal. You're going to you tell the person what the problem is. They will get you right to the proper attorney. Within 8 hours, you will get a call from that attorney talking to you, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, the thing is that they're very responsive and they're very capable. And there are a lot of situations that are maybe comparative minor. You had a dispute with an employer, you had a dispute with a warranty, you had a contract for your car leasing or purchase, and that when you check the contract and you find that, like someone we know did, that there was a $250, what was it called?
Yeah, it was for a prep charge for the car.
Right, a prep charge. When it comes to find out, the lawyer investigates, it's for a car wash. Needless to say that was removed, and of course that client's very happy. There are a lot of times where there are things that are relatively small that you'd love to have the clout of an attorney, but to spend the $200-300 an hour for an attorney isn't worth it. You don't know what the outcome would be, but for $17 a month, you have the best and the brightest working for you.
Exactly, Betsy. Let me give you an idea what that covers. It gives you, underneath it, you have preventative law. And that allows a person to call the law firm for any reason whatsoever, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No matter what problems. If you have a problem on your cell phone bill or a dishwasher or a person with your lawn person, call up the law firm. They are there to help, and they will help you and tell you if they can write a letter or a phone call or what you should do on that. There's 4 words people should understand and memorize. I need advice on, and that's what we tell all the clients with Legal Shield.
I did hear also a couple stories about like double billing on a phone bill or on a cable bill that was resolved right away.
Oh, exactly. They also do, included in that 17, they do letters and phone calls on your behalf. So if they see that they can help you, write a letter would help resolving a problem, they'll write a letter. Now, it's really interesting how much muscle it has. If you you can imagine if you got a small business that you've been having a problem with, or even a large business, because how many times we all went out there and said, I'm going to call my attorney, and we never do because of the cost of the hourly rate.
Absolutely.
This time, now you have the ability to have a law firm with on their stationary list 20, 30 lawyers, and they get that letter from that law firm.
They're definitely going to take notice.
Yeah, that gives you that little extra muscle that you need that usually resolves that problem. They also do another thing in the preventative law is called document review. What that is, what you were just saying, Betsy, they'll review any contract up to 10 pages and as many contracts as you want to give them, up to 10 pages long, to make sure that you're not being taken advantage.
Well, that's one of the reasons we want to always explain to people that you don't just sign a contract and then send it to Legal Shield. It's a great idea before you sign that piece of real estate contract or whatever contract it might be to call Legal Shield, know about the document, give them a copy of it, and they'll be protecting your interests. And after the fact, it's a lot harder than before.
Just always remember, Betsy, that large print giveth, and
the small print taketh away.
Amen. And you got that right. That's just one part. The other part of Legal Shield that's also included in this is the estate planning. They do. Everybody who joins Legal Shield has a will for them and its family, for their spouse, prepared for no additional cost.
I know all of you in the South Florida area who might be listening to the show tonight. Glance Law is in Plantation, and I believe once a month they actually hold a session on preparing your will, so they can give you extra help.
Exactly, and this is a phenomenal thing because most wills cost between $500 and $700 per will, and the family can pay over $1,000. Now, the other thing that they do, besides the will and this estate planning, they also prepare a health power of attorney. This is very, very important, and also prepare a living will for a will as well as a minor trust as well. That's all included in that fee as well.
This is like, guys, somebody should be calling us now. $17 a month for a family. Why don't you give them the number, Harvey?
Yes.
And let some people call in and let us know if you have issues that you think a lawyer could resolve for you. You don't have to give your name even, and just keep it anonymous if you like. But just give us some idea of what kinds of experience you have where the power and muscle of a lawyer would have been a great help to you.
Yes, you can call us while we're on the air, and that's 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. If they want to call me off the air, they can do that as well at 888-405-8780. Again, it's 888-405-8780.
Yeah, this is an amazing opportunity to be proactive in your life. We have insurance for cars and all these things. Let's insure our identity. Let's ensure that we get a fair share of the American justice system.
Yes, that's what it was based on. The other thing is you can always reach us at www.coveryourassets.tv as well. The other one that I love, and I think anybody with teenage kids really should love this,
Can you tell that Harvey gets excited about this?
it's the motor vehicle aspect. They assist with any moving traffic violation and driver's license assistance to make sure you don't get points on your license. Listen, I'm telling you, they will not fix tickets, but it's so nice they have an attorney present and you don't have to show up. That 90% of the times they can resolve the problem and the issue for you. The only time this isn't covered is under a DUI or criminal offense driving.
Or leaving leaving the scene of an accident. That's so true, and that is great, because if you're working and you they have a camera now, and then they take the camera away. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. To have the lawyer come in your behalf, and you can still be to work, and this is costing you for all of this, for your entire family, such a nominal amount of money, $17 a month. I think it's a really. It's just just wonderful. I wish other things were just this affordable.
There is one catch, Betsy.
What's the catch?
You have a 15-day waiting period after you register.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Yes. So they also have representation for traffic accidents. So, and if something is not covered, what we're discussing, you'll get a 25% discount off of a regular rate. And some instances, they might not have an exact person to represent you in a case. At that point, you get a 25% discount, and they'll do a referral for you.
And the other thing was exciting, we haven't mentioned, say you're going to a vacation up someplace in California or New York or New Jersey or Chicago, and you wind up with a traffic accident there. We have offices in all these places, a lot more, obviously. In 49 states, we have offices. So you'll have representation by local attorneys, and you'll get that referral, and you can just feel, it just gives you a lot of peace of mind. And again, these are competent, top-rated attorneys.
Law firms. Yeah, that's the beauty, because let's say you had a traffic ticket in California.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, and same idea. You call, when you get back, you call Katz Law. They will refer you to the law firm in California, and they will represent you in the traffic court. Another matter is, there are a lot of times people say, "Oh my goodness, it's tax season now," Bets, as you know.
Yeah, I just finished mine. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, congratulations! I hope you got a tremendous amount of money back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're correct. Sure. Anyway, with the IRS, if you're called into their office and they will help negotiate the settlement. If it goes to court, you will have an attorney by your side for up to 60 hours just for the IRS. And that's amazing. They have an attorney next to you when you're talking to the IRS. That's really an amazing.
Yeah, those names bring fear in the heart of everybody, don't they?
Yeah,
IRS, those letters are like, nobody wants that.
There's also another aspect to this as well. And that is, Betsy, today, your chances of being sued as an individual is 3 times more likely than going to the hospital.
I didn't know. I know we're in a very litigious society, but I didn't know it was that bad.
It's that bad. And what happens, besides the IRS, with Legal Shield, you will get 60 hours of legal trial protection besides the IRS. What that means is if you have a problem, they'll spend 2.5 hours for consulting and then spend up to 57 hours at trial protecting you.
That's why actually we know of lawyers that have actually gone and signed up with Legal Shield. You want to explain that, Harvey?
Yeah, the reason I have friends who are attorney, being a past CEO of public company, you can imagine how many attorneys I had. I had SEC attorneys. I had corporate attorneys, all the different types of attorneys. Well, one of my attorneys said, I asked him, I said, why do you want this product? And he said, I'm tired of asking my friends to go appear for me in traffic court. He said, for this kind of money, it just makes it so much simpler that I don't have to ask for a favor for one of my friends to appear for me in traffic court.
And also the fact that you might be an attorney for one thing, but you don't know necessarily attorney that you might need in another field. So that's another reason I know that people have signed, lawyers have signed up.
Exactly. You might, we know everybody in somebody's family has an attorney somewhere. And usually they ask their advice. They don't forget to ask, is that their specialty? It's like a doctor today, like a cardiologist or a neurologist. They have specialty in law.
Yep. Yeah, an OBGYN for delivering a baby isn't the same doctor that's doing a heart surgery, so it's different.
Exactly. So this what makes it really interesting. Betsy, I notice it's past our time and I over-talked again, and it's time to go to commercial.
Okay.
So let's do our commercial break.
Legal Shield has provided legal protection to millions of people for over 40 years. We monitor your identity from every angle, not just your social security number, credit cards, and bank accounts. We ensure everything connected to you is safe. ID Shield is the only company with an exclusive partnership with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. If a compromise occurs, contact your licensed private investigator who will immediately begin to restore your identity to exactly the way it was. For more information, call Harvey Katz, a certified risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. You are listening to Cover Your Assets with Nancy O. and Harvey Katz. If you want more information, visit coveryourassets.tv and watch all prior shows there. All information on the products will be highlighted on the website. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Betsy?
It's Betsy here.
And Harvey here. Betsy, why don't you tell some of the folks a little bit about ID? We've been talking today mainly about Legal Shield, but tell them to catch up for the folks who haven't heard enough before about identity theft and ID Shield.
Yep, it is for the last 15 years, as you know, the number one reported consumer complaint with the FTC.
Exactly.
And the areas, and I'm going to sort of speak a little quickly now because the show is winding down a bit, but we cover credit, driver's license, employment, including Social Security and IRS, medical, criminal, and character, and importantly, this is becoming increasingly an issue, minor children who you think would never be an issue with their ID, but it is not the case.
Right.
So we have everything that they do. It's in depth. And it's restored. It's not just giving you a list. You pay some kind of a investigator. Kroll actually has these private investigators who are in their fraud division. You're given their number to follow up. They do whatever it takes for how long it takes, no matter how minor or major or how trivial.
Right. And we say, as you said, Betsy, some of the daily monitoring is they don't just do your bank accounts or your credit cards. They do your email accounts, up to 10 per person. They do your passports. They check your address, which is vitally important because people today, they steal the credit card, and then what they do is they open up new credit cards with a different address, and you don't even know you own them. So what they do is when this happens, they let you know, have you opened up a new loan? Have you applied for a new credit card? Have you changed your address?
Well, we can go to that example, too, like the lady who went to get a job at Target during holiday season, and they told her she had a job there. And she said, what? No, I don't. That's why I'm applying. Turned out the lady had jobs in 37 different jobs in 31 states. And believe me, not only was that a ridiculous problem for her, but it was even more so when the IRS came after taxes. So this is what we do with ID Shield, and why I'm such an advocate for it. We do the complete restoration. There's no, you lay out the money and we'll do it. None of that stuff. This goes from start to finish, that we absolutely will take your up to $5 million, and we'll take you and restore your credit to its prior condition. And I think
that's for life, by the way, you know.
For life, and even I understand now, recently I heard that it was for pre-existing. Is that right?
Yes, it is. That means when they first do your credit analysis, if you had something going on pre-existing, and from, let's say, you're in another state that they find, they will help you bring your identity back to its original identity to you for your life.
That sounds great, Harvey. And before, we're going to be winding up in a minute, but I do want to thank all the listeners for being so wonderful and responsive the last several weeks. We're going to be taking a little hiatus. I want to wish everybody, in the meantime, a very happy Easter and a happy and easy Passover, and a joyous holiday season to all of you.
Right.
And don't forget, a happy St. Patty's Day.
Yes, especially for St. Patty's Day. Be careful driving there. And if you need any information or any questions, feel free to call me at any time at 888-405-8780. Betsy, all I can tell you, for $9.95 for Legal Shield, $19.95 for a family, it's just been fantastic value.
Call us soon. Call the number that Harvey just gave you.
Okay, and you can always see us on www.coveryourassets.tv. I think it's time for the end of the show and another break.
You have been listening to Cover Your Assets, where your hosts, Nancy O. and Harvey Katz, have shown you how to protect yourself in today's world. If you would like to send questions or comments, visit the chat room at coveryourassets.tv and perhaps have it read on the air. Thanks for listening and watching today, and we will see you next week with more Cover Your Assets. The opinions expressed on the